Welcome back to the Grand Solar Minimum channel. Today is Wednesday, October 23rd, 2019. Hello there. All right, let's take a look at our space weather today. Our solar wind speeds coming in at 331.5 kilometers per second with a density of 1.4. Once again, our sun is blank. No sunspots to report. That's now 20 days in a row. 219 days for 2019. We are now 2 days away from tying 2018's number of 221 days without sunspots. Obviously, we are going to absolutely crush that number as we are only in the end of October. Let's take a look at the SDO in motion. There is that large coronal hole that is turning away from Earth. We should see some effects of that tomorrow through Friday, and we are expecting a G1 geomagnetic storm. Minor communication brownouts expected, especially in the upper atmosphere, but nothing major with G1s. G1s happen quite often, and most of us don't even notice we're having a geomagnetic storm. So again, during the minimums, we do have a lot more geomagnetic storms, but they're also at a lighter grade, not in the G3s, the G4s like we would see during a solar max. The good news about a G4 or a G5 during a solar max is that we have our magnetic field that will protect us. It's a lot stronger during the solar max versus having a G5 during a solar minimum might cause a little bit of problems, but we don't have anything to worry about like with that at this point. So that being said, our KP indices are at a 0 and our 24-hour max is at a 1. Again, we are on a strong quake watch. I called it the other night for 72 hours. We're going to go ahead and extend that another 24 hours. In the next 48 hours, we are on at least a 6.5 or 7.0 earthquake watch. Due to the current conditions on our sun, the large coronal hole Earth facing, 0 KP, and the fact that we're expecting a G1, there will be some disturbances on Earth for sure. All right, I wanted to take you over real quick to SPACEWEATHER.com. I had to show this, guys. This is huge. Big sprites over Oklahoma. Oklahoma is a good place to see sprites, exotic forms of lightning that leap from up thunderstorms instead of down. On the 21st, Paul Smith of Edmond, Oklahoma photographed this gigantic batch here of gigantic jets. He says these were some of the largest spanning multi-events he's ever personally seen, with sometimes 5 or 6 sprites sequentially firing along the line of storms for what must have been for more than 100 miles. It was a very strong and fast-moving cold front with strong winds, large hail, tornadoes, perfect conditions for sprites, he says. Oklahoma is the epicenter of a region that we call Sprite Alley, a corridor stretching across the U.S. Great Plains where intense thunderstorms produce lots of sprites. Now, increasing levels of cosmic rays in the atmosphere may be boosting the phenomenon because cosmic rays are known to help trigger lightning. And right now, folks, if you pay attention here at SPACEWEATHER.com, we're at 9.7% on the neuron counts for cosmic rays. Remember, the record high is 11.7, so we're really close to that maximum of cosmic rays that's in our atmosphere. He says he's been recording sprites since the summer of 2017 when he accidentally caught a few during the Perseid meteor shower. He says, I now have hundreds of events on camera and I'm almost out every night there are storms in my vicinity. Large frontal storm systems like the one we experienced on the 21st are fairly typical in the southern plains during fall, and I hope for more captures over the coming weeks. Now, this was the same storm system that brought the tornado in Dallas, and of course that long streak of thunderstorms finally moved off to the east, and we're completely out of that front right now. But just some amazing pictures here, guys. These gigantic sprites, these gigantic jets are absolutely breathtaking. And the key word for this is that we're going to see more like this because of the cosmic rays that are in the atmosphere that help trigger lightning. The other day, I was asked by an associate about what causes lightning. And I didn't get to answer him in full. We were at work, but this is part of the reason right here. If you guys take a look at the neuron count here, 9.8%, 11.7 is very high. That's the record of December 2009. That was right in smack dab in the middle of a minimum that we were going through, a deep one. In fact, one of the deepest minimums we'd seen in 150 years or so. And likewise, what we're going through right now, another deep minimum. So we will continue to monitor this, and I just thought it was newsworthy to show you this beautiful capture here of these sprites here in Oklahoma. Now here's some nonsense before I get to your weather. Let's go ahead and watch this real quick, folks. You're gonna love this.
New research published in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences points to the possibility that El Niños may become stronger in the future due to climate change. Now, El Niño is the warming of equatorial waters of the Pacific that can lead to major weather pattern changes worldwide. The study found that the El Niño events that are developing in the climate change enhanced warmer waters of the Western Pacific are growing strong and enveloping this entire region. It also found that after 1978, our number of El Niños developing in that spot has increased. In fact, all three of our recent super El Niños of 1982, 97, and 2015 developed in the Western Pacific. These have led to our hottest years on Earth, including 2016. It's led to drought, famine, and extreme rainfall events. This research strengthens the consensus that climate change is making El Niños stronger.
Did you hear that? And then the next article is German forests threatened by beetle attack due to climate change. And then if you go down to the next video, it talks about climate change could hit your wallet. And then, of course, wants to talk about Noah's hot month of September. I mean,
it was a brutally hot
September. Do you see where I'm going with this, folks? I don't understand what's happening at the Weather Channel. Very confusing. Because last winter, they talked about solar forcing being part of the reason why we were in a cold winter. And here lately, I've seen a lot of rhetoric on the Weather Channel about climate change and about how man is causing it. We're getting warmer. But this lady here made the comment about El Niños getting stronger, okay, because of climate change. Let's take a look at that blatant misstatement here, folks. Big time misstatement. I'm a little angry about this, honestly. I'm sick of it. I use these guys for examples on using solar forcing, and then they turn around and pull crap like this. Just a bunch of fear porn for Weather Channel, just to try to make everybody think that we're warming. Here's the Super El Nino they're mentioning of 98. This number right here, I'm going to tell you right now, folks, is grossly exaggerated, this chart. Starman, David out there at the UK, showed me the actual raw data, and I didn't have time to look that up. But temperatures to get this high for an El Nino at the 2.5 mark, absolutely real. That did not happen. I've seen the raw data. We didn't even hit 30 degrees Celsius in the 3-4 region during this Super El Nino, or so-called Super El Nino. But look at these El Niños in between. And I'm pointing out these ones here, 2002, 2004, 2010, a very weak one in 2013, and then we had the strong one. Now, this was a stronger one. I'm not going to lie. It was December 15th. I'm standing in Cleveland watching a football game wearing shorts. It was 65 degrees outside. So I'm not ignoring that this El Nino didn't cause warmer weather. I'm simply stating that don't believe the hype. Once again, Weather Channel trying to tell you that we're getting so many strong El Niños since 1978. Three strong El Niños since 78. That's 41 years. And we're supposed to be alarmed by this fact, by the way. So, again, during this time right here, 2002 through, let's say, 2016, supposedly CO2 and everything, that's when everything was really bad with climate change, right? CO2 being higher and temperatures being warmer and all that good stuff. But yet the Weather Channel wants to tell you that climate change is causing more stronger El Niños. Well, look at this. 2018. Barely even an El Nino. In fact, we called this one this year a Modaki El Nino. But this El Nino here particularly, look at this. The temperatures need to be at 0.5 or higher for it to qualify as an El Nino. all right, above baseline. To be around the 0.2 area, you have to be 30 degrees Celsius in the water temps. That did not happen, folks. I'm just simply stating that, and I will find the data that will show you that it did not get this high. This is grossly exaggerated. And again, more numbers manipulated by NOAA. This year's past El Nino, barely even an El Nino to talk about. It didn't even reach the 1 degree mark above baseline. So once again, you've got Weather Channel hyping it up. As I've always said, don't believe the hype. Climate change is not causing stronger El Nino. In 41 years, we've had at least 2 confirmed real strong El Ninos. 2. I am not going to raise the red flag right now for climate change making anything stronger, because we've showed you guys hurricanes are not getting stronger. Okay, that's another myth we've busted. They told you that climate change was causing more stronger hurricanes. Well, if they're stronger, has a lot to do with solar forcing, because we witnessed that this year with Dorian. We had a solar storm happening as it increased to a Cat 5. We also had Lorenzo, who developed into a Cat 5 in the most extreme eastern part of the Atlantic Ocean. It's never happened before. But guess what? The coincidence with that was that we were also going through a solar storm, high solar wind speeds, more charged particles in our atmosphere that gave that storm more strength. So how many major hurricanes have we had this year make landfall? 1? 2? Maybe? Again, climate change alarmists want to tell you, make you believe that we are going to see more frequent hurricanes and El Ninos as we move towards the future, and that's simply not happening. And I had to point this out this morning. I know this is usually just an update, but it kind of got under my skin a little bit that more hype, more of that confusion from mainstream media, especially the Weather Channel, because they've always been, it almost feels like sometimes they're leaning towards the fact they're trying to show the truth. But then when I see videos like this, obviously it is just a bunch of regurgitated garbage that's indoctrinated. And these meteorologists, these TV people are just repeating garbage right now. They're not even using real meteorological data to even make these claims. Because if they looked at the raw data before they did these reports, they would look at their producers and say, you know, I'm not even really comfortable making this statement on TV or on the internet. All right, let's move into your national forecast real quick. Hey, the map is expired, but that's okay, because really there's not a whole lot going on, honestly. We're talking about some light snow showers in the northern plains, Montana, Wyoming, North and South Dakota, some light rain showers across Iowa, and there's that batch of rain that we had here through the eastern part of the United States yesterday. Now it's all in Maine. There you go. Cheryl and Thor, have fun with that, because we had to deal with it yesterday. Temperatures overnight tonight looking rather chilly across the United States. Look at the reach of the colder air now, guys. Insane. Teens and 20s across the northern plains and the central part of the plains as well. Most of the country will be in the 30s and 40s for overnight lows, except for your warm spots like Florida, California, Arizona, Texas, and parts of the East Coast. Take a look at maximum high temperatures today. Pretty fall-like. 60s and 70s across the South, 50s and 60s across the Midwest, and look at that, 30s and 20s. I'm sorry, 30s for highs, 30s and 40s for highs in the northern plains, with the higher elevations looking at the 20s. The hot spots today, Florida, Texas, Arizona, and California. Perfect vacation weather, guys. Taking a look at our forecast for today, looking at mixed precip in the northern plains, snow in the Rockies, Denver looking at some heavy snow at times, rain, just plain old rain across Iowa and the Great Lakes, some storms and showers developing Oklahoma and Texas. And we'll take a look at tomorrow's weather, moving right along. That cold front sinking all the way into the south. Some heavy rain in Texas, Dallas, and Houston possible tomorrow. And then when we get to Friday, about half the country, the eastern part, Midwest, the south, and the northeast will all have chances for rain, and even some mixed precipitation in the far upstate New York region, New Hampshire, and Maine as well. All right, that is a look at your next 3 days, and I'm going to give a full report tonight on our live show at 9 p.m. So we'll take a look at what we're to expect as far as any snow, any rain. Has the forecast changed since Monday night? And we're talking about the central part of the country where we really need it to be dry for the next 2 weeks at least. Harvesting will begin for the most part, for pretty much most of the farmers, since they were about 3 to 5 weeks late to plant in the first place. Now we're getting a late start at harvest. We need the dry weather across this region. All right, that's going to do it for us today, guys. We will be back tonight at 9 p.m. with a full report for the Grand Solar Minimum channel. Hope everyone has a great day, and we'll talk soon.
Do you like the show? Give us a thumbs up. Want to support us more? Share to your favorite social media platform. Buy a t-shirt or become a Patreon. All links are in the description below.